There once was someone who dreamed about buying their very first home. They had worked hard, saved some money, and felt ready to start this new chapter. Every night, they'd scroll through pictures of beautiful houses, big kitchens, nice yards, cozy living rooms, and imagine what life would be like inside them. Hi, I want to tell you a story that might sound a lot like where you are right now. But one big question kept coming up. How much house can I really afford? At first, they didn't know the answer. So, they started asking around, doing some research, and talking to people who knew more. The first stop was a lender, a person who helps people get money to buy a home. The lender looked at a few things: how much money they made every month, how much they already owed on things like student loans or a car, and their credit score, which shows how well they pay bills. The lender used something called a debt-to-income ratio, or DTI. It sounds fancy, but it's just a way to compare how much money someone earns with how much they already spend on monthly bills. The lender said, "We usually want your debts, including your house payment, to be no more than 43% of what you make each month." With that, the lender said, you could afford a house around $300,000. At first, this person was excited. A $300,000 house sounded amazing. But as they walked out of the meeting, they started to wonder, is that number really right for me? So, they sat down and did something smart. They made their own plan. They looked at how much money they actually took home each month after taxes. It was about $4,000. They thought carefully about their other expenses, food, gas, clothes, saving for emergencies, and decided they didn't want to spend more than $1,200 a month on a house. That number felt comfortable. They used a simple online calculator and found out that with a $1,200 monthly budget and a decent interest rate, they could afford a home somewhere in the $200,000 to $250,000 range. That felt a lot better. Next, they thought about the down payment. That's the money you pay up front when you buy a home. They learned that some loans only need 3% down, while others need 10%, 20%, or more. For a $250,000 house, 3% down would be $7,500. 10% down would be $25,000. They also found out there were other costs, like closing costs, moving expenses, and maybe needing to buy a lawnmower or new furniture. So they decided to save up just a little more before making the big move. The best part? They weren't doing it alone. They had a team helping them every step of the way, answering questions, explaining things clearly, and helping them feel confident. In the end, they didn't pick the biggest house they could buy. They picked the house that fit their budget, their life, and their goals. It had just the right space, the right price, and the right feel. And most of all, it felt like home. So if you're wondering, how much house can you really afford? Remember this story. Think about what you earn, what you spend, and what feels right to you, not just what someone else says you can borrow. Your comfort and your future matter more than square footage. For more information, be sure to connect with us. We're here to help you find a house you love, and one you can truly afford. Thanks for listening. Let's get you started on your own home buying story.
Thank you so much for watching the video. We are here to answer all your questions you may have about the mortgage process, whether you're purchasing or refinancing. You can reach us at 615-400-6764. That's 615-400-6764 via call or text. And also you'll have my email address down below. That's mhelton at OneTrust. That's ONETRUST home, HOME, loans with an S.com. mhelton at OneTrustHomeLoans.com. Thanks again and have a great day. Talk to you soon.